Good morning, Oracles. Oh my goodness, what another wonderful red day yesterday for Tesla, down 6.8%, closing at 709. Just continuing the beatdown. So what happened yesterday? Well, retail sales came in very weak for Walmart and Target. This was giving the whole entire market a sign that yes, we are heading towards a recession. This is not a good sign, so we're just going to sell off. And then on top of it, Tesla was taken out of the S&P ESG index because apparently they weren't as environmentally friendly as some of the oil companies that came in. So reality was the criteria that they use is not just for the environment. There's, workplace conditions and other things as well that go into this. So they cited the reasons being because of, the racial discrimination suit that they had last year, as well as the way they had handled the investigations that NHTSA did towards some of their full self-driving deaths that had happened over the course of the year. Now, my feeling on the investigations were Tesla complied with everything that NHTSA wanted, provided them with all the information, and it was determined that the driver was at fault every single time. So having that one factored in there, not a huge fan of it. Obviously, racial discrimination, not a good thing ever. We don't ever want to see that anywhere. And the fact that it was brought up for Tesla was not a good thing. But even with that in place of it, they said that Tesla's score remained steady from the prior year, but these other companies happened to do better. I call BS. Now, I know the oil companies they say they have been working on becoming better and more environmentally friendly. From years and years past, they definitely are. I gotta be realistic. They have improved, but they're still oil companies. They're still old fossil fuel oil companies. There's only so much cleaner they can get. And so I cannot fathom that they actually improved as much as they said they did to be able to overtake Tesla, because Tesla's improvements for the environment certainly have gone up as well over the last year. Whatever it is, it happened. Tesla's going to end up getting themselves back onto that list in the future anyway, as soon as oil stops paying off the S&P to do this. That's just my opinion on it. So anyway, not a huge concern for me, whatever. So they have some funds that are now going to have to sell out of Tesla and reallocate their funds into some oil companies. That's fine. It happens. We're going to get back into there, so we'll take this as another short-term issue that is going to get resolved, and we're going to get into the S&P ESG in the future, and we're also going to get our credit rating to investor grade, probably end of this year or beginning of next year, and the S&P is going to have no choice but to finally accept, hey, yes, Tesla is not as bad as we think they are, and we have to accept their dominance. And so yes, as far as I'm concerned, this is just more FUD that is thrown on top of Tesla. And we have seen it many times in the past. The more and more FUD that goes thrown on top of Tesla weighs it down, and it's always short-term FUD. Sometimes a short term may last 12 months or so, but it's still going to be temporary, and eventually it's going to get removed, and people are going to realize the truth and how good Tesla truly is, and the stock is going to rally hard. So again, this is for me, hey, go ahead and throw some FUD on there. That's more fudge for me to buy, and I'm just going to continue adding to my Tesla position. I added today at 721 and 707. I'm adding littler increments now. I was adding $20 every time. I'm down to $10 every time. I still have plenty of cash on the side, but because we keep on getting beat down and making lower lows, I'm just going to hold off putting in larger dollar amounts until I actually see this turnaround come, because, who knows? We can just keep on getting beat up and go down to $600. So we held up nicely at 700 today, so maybe that's the good place. We bounced off of that hard previously back in February. So perhaps this is where we kind of linger sideways for a little while. I don't know. Either way, before I put a larger sum of money into this, I'm going to continue by dollar cost average and then wait for an actual turnaround before I start dumping more money in. And my feeling on this is the calm before the storm. And I know many of you out there are going, well, what do you mean? This seems like a storm. Look what's going on out there. What I mean by this is the storm of a bull run. Think about what Tesla has done in the past. It sits flat sideways, trades down or maybe a little bit up, doesn't really do much, and then boom, it takes off like crazy and it goes on that bull run storm. This is that calm before that storm. We are, the stock price right now is falling sideways, whatever, it's up and down, but it's not taking off. We don't have that bull storm that is going on. So this is the time where you want to prepare for that storm, just like you would if you had a hurricane coming in. You go down to the store, you buy all the supplies you need, you make sure you've got enough supplies on the side. So this is it. You're going to be buying the supplies you need, which is going to be your dollar cost average. You're going to be stockpiling more supplies, which is your cash reserves, and you're just going to sit here and wait, and you're going to figure out a plan to, just in case I run out of something, how can I get more? That's going to be your cash flow generation that's coming in. So these are your three pieces when it comes to preparing for the bull storm. Get ready for it. I don't know when that storm is coming. It could come next week. It could come right before the split. It could come next year. Honestly, I don't know. I just know that I want to prepare now for that storm because I know that bull run storm is coming. And many of you have been asking about the split, with the stock being so depressed right now, who knows how much further we're going to fall? Are we still going to see a split? So let's go back to the facts. The fact that we know is Tesla is going to ask us as shareholders to vote to be able to increase the number of shares that are outstanding so that they can create a split. That's all we know for facts. We don't know how many shares or how many shares they're going to want to have us vote on. We don't know what the split ratio is going to be. We don't know when the split date is going to be. We just know that August 4th is the date that we're going to be able to vote on the share increase. Now, we should be finding out sometime in the next few weeks in the proxy what they're looking for the quantity of shares for us to vote on, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to have that ratio. For instance, if they say they want to increase it by 20 billion shares, that doesn't mean that they're going to do a 20-to-1 split. We could venture a guess and think that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So again, we don't know what's going on. We don't know the timing of it. They can say, hey, we're going to vote on the shares. It's going to be 20 billion shares we vote on August 4th, but we're not going to do a split until November. It could happen at any time. So there's no other answers that we have. So looking at what we're looking at for the price for the future, if we are going to go into a recession, Tesla's going to want a lower stock price anyway. Even if we don't go into a recession, Tesla wants a lower stock price anyway, for the employees to be able to purchase, to make it more accessible to people around the world who cannot buy in fractional shares, and even for the psychological point for those of us who can buy fractional shares but want to buy full shares instead. It's going to be better for options. They might be able to get included into the Dow. Lots of different pieces and reasons why they would want to do this split. So even if the stock gets depressed, let's say we do come down to $600, doing a 10-to-1 split may still make sense to bring it down to about $60. Think about Amazon and Google right now. They're going to be doing 20-to-1 splits, which is going to bring their stock price down currently to around that $100 mark. So if they come down that low, and Tesla being one of the top dogs as well, but being more expensive, it's not going to be good for Tesla in their favor because people are going to be like, well, do I buy Tesla for $700 or do I buy Google or Amazon for $100? Obviously, we know valuations don't actually change, but when you're going out there to buy a stock and you can afford one and not the other, makes more sense. So Tesla, I do believe, is going to do a split this year regardless of how much the stock gets depressed. I think it may just determine what ratio they're going to do. Maybe they do a 10-to-1, a 20-to-1. If we do get a massive pullback before then, maybe they do a 5-to-1, or maybe they just delay it out 6 months and do a 10-to-1 to see if we run back up. A lot of different options that are out there, but again, the facts we know are Tesla announced a split, and we're going to vote on the increase of shares on August 4th. That's all we know for a fact. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we find out some more information. Otherwise, just waiting. This game right now that we're playing is a game of patience. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. So for me, again, my something that I'm doing, because I'm not very good at doing nothing. I need to do something. So I do my small dollar cost averaging. I'm making sure I keep the cash reserves on the side, and I'm just monitoring to see where things are going. That's my activity to keep myself sane during these times and keep myself out of trouble by dumping all of my money in. That's my strategy. So again, do your own due diligence and what you do the best for your own portfolio and your strategy. That's just mine. Let me know in the comments below, how are you guys feeling about yesterday? How did you guys feel about the news about the S&P ESG piece that's going on? Let me know your take on that and how you feel about it. Do you think it was justified? Do you think it was politically incorrect and you think that they are wrong in doing this and there's corruption involved? Just let me know your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.